day in like 5 minutes.
Is that him?
Yo, IPP.
Is it?
Let's kick it.
Ice, baby.
Hi, I'm David.
I was like totally in here.
Alright, stop your bumble date and listen. Trey is back on a brand new mission. Something that's debated tightly. Some say it's not real, others say it might be. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. But after this rhyme, you'll hope so. To the extreme, more than Earth can handle. Let's light up the truth like a Yankee candle. Damn! Sea level rises too soon. Hottest club in Miami, built on pontoons. Deadly! Like a gas chamber, can't breathe. Saying any less is a stress on economy. Deny it, believe it, or look the other way. We all play a role, but the planet will pay. Climate is a problem, yo, let's solve it. Check out the sample while the centrifuge revolves it.
Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby.
Now that the temperature's jumping, with the shale drilling and the chemicals pumping, thick in the air to the point it's baking. Polar caps into a glacial laking, burning them. I'll keep it quick and simple. I go crazy when I hear this info. Now let's fight back at a souped up tempo. Stop burning coal, time to go solar. Rolling in my Tesla, yo, with my pedal down, no emissions flow. Scuba on the standby, waiting for the reef dive. Did you stop? No, I just drove by, kept on. Pursuing to the next drop. Pack my tanks and I'm heading for the next spot. The reef is dead, yo, so I continue to A1A, Once Beachfront Avenue. Paddle down to Blue Martini. Smallest rainfall, drawn a Lamborghini's jealous. Cause in a matter of time, the UB underwater Gainesville coastline. Steady, grows the urban sprawl. The buildings keep rising, water quality falls. Sirens ring out like a bell. The Blue Lagoon, now a Fontainebleau hotel. Falling, the pH is real fast. Plankton slowing down, longing for the past. Oceans to plants, the carbon is packed. They're trying to adapt, but the change is too fast. O2 on the scene, you know what I mean? Can't pass that up, humans be air. Pollution is a problem, yo, let's solve it. Check out the panel and the turbine revolving.
Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby.
Take heed before the whole world shows it. Coastlines will be gone just in case you didn't know it. My town, where Super Bowl hopes go down. Missing snow when the Mallory blooms come round. Spies and chemical spills. Delusion hides but persists and kills. Sustainability, yo, it's a hell of a concept. More forest fires burning in the west. Witness the weather start to change. Quick like a ninja, rocks you like a hurricane so fast. Jim Cantori say damn. If knowledge was a drug, I would teach it by the gram. Keep Earth's composure when threatened by untruth. Magnetized by the job of preparing our youth. Innovation is the answer, yo, evolve it. Time to change our ways, work together and solve it.
Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby.
Polar.
Ice, baby. Ice.
Yo, let's get out of here. Word to your mother, Earth.
Hello and welcome to the 2020 Florida Gulf Coast Hope Spot Anniversary Youth Summit. That incredible performance we were watching was done by a real-life superhero, Inspector Planet. We have got an amazing lineup for you today. We've got Dr. Tracy Finera, aka Inspector Planet, Dr. E from C Smart School, Dr. Sylvia Earle and Shannon the Shark, as well as two of the coolest kids I have ever met. So get ready for an awesome time. My name is Paige. I work at the Tarpon Springs Aquarium and Paige's Planet, and I am a director at Blue Green Connections. Blue Green Connections is the nonprofit that nominated the Florida Gulf Coast Hope Spot. A Hope Spot is an area that is extremely important for the health of the whole ocean. Some of my favorite Florida animals, are you guys ready for this? Marilyn the alligator and I are so happy to be be here, and we are here to see what you have done to protect her home this past year. If you have any questions throughout the event, please leave them in the Q&A at the top right-hand side of the page, and Shannon the Shark and Madame Sylvia Earle will answer them. Now, I am going to turn it over to two of the coolest kids ever, Ryan and Enzo.
Thank you for the intro, Paige. My name is Enzo DeFerrari-Wilson, and I've been inspired to help the ocean ever since Ryan here invited me to a beach cleanup when I was only 6 years old. My project is called Ocean Needs Everyone, and my goal with my project is to show that any kid can make a difference. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can do anything as long as you work hard towards your goals. With Ocean Needs Everyone, along with Ryan, I've made multiple ocean films, assisted in making sculptures out of beach trash, pitched to corporations about getting rid of plastic straws, and started the Forgotten Islands Project, where I go out to clean the beaches in the Gulf of Mexico that people always tend to leave heaps of trash at. I'm also an athlete featured on American Ninja Warrior Jr., which gave me the platform to bring awareness to many people about the plastic problem in the ocean. And for my newest project, I'm going to be making a Ninja Warrior obstacle out of 100% recycled ocean plastic. It's an honor to be here today with Blue Green Connections in Mission Blue, and it's an honor to have a Hope Spot right in my backyard. Bottom line, I love protecting our oceans. We want the land and the seas to be clean for us, all of the animals, and all of you. Now on to Ryan.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Moralevitz, and my project is called The Fish's Wishes. The goal of my project is to bring awareness to the problems that are negatively impacting the ocean and to raise money to donate towards its conservation. I do beach cleanups and use some of the trash to build sculptures to highlight the problem of pollution in the ocean. In addition, I organize mangrove and CO plantings. I'm currently writing my second book, which will be released in early 2021, and it's even going to have a stuffed animal, Puffy the Pufferfish, who is the main character. I am so honored to be here today with Blue Green Connections and Mission Blue, and I hope that everyone here today will feel encouraged to work together to ensure a clean and thriving environment for the amazing creatures that call the ocean home. Now, I am so excited to introduce you to a scientist who has changed the world. She is an explorer and a marine biologist.
That means she knows the ocean inside and out. She's even lived underwater.
That's super cool. She is one of my greatest inspirations and works with very important people such as presidents and even real-life sharks. Introducing Dr. Sylvia Earle and Shannon the Shark.
Hey everybody, super excited to see you. Thank you so much for joining. We're having some technical difficulties, so Sylvia is going to be joining us, but she's going to be joining us in a little bit. But I know she's super happy to be speaking to all of you, loves the fact that kids are involved, thinks kids can do amazing and great and wonderful things. And we're also going to have a live Q&A. So if you have any questions for Sylvia or me, you can put them in the Q&A and ask your question, and we might be able to have some of you ask those live. So please do that. Use the Q&A, ask your question, and we'll be taking care of that later on in the program. Back to you, Ryan and Enzo.
All right. Thank you, Shannon the Shark. I was thinking about sharks too. Do you know which shark is the biggest?
Do you? Write your answer in the chat below, and the first person with the correct answer will get 2 sun catchers, ocean-friendly sunscreen, a tote bag, and 2 metal straws, plus their cases mailed right to your doorstep.
Speaking of trivia too, next up we are going to introduce you to a group of scientists that make it their mission to get kids involved with protecting the environment. Get ready to test your nature knowledge with Dr. Elaine Leung. Dr. E, as she's known to her students, is a marine biologist who's founded Sea Smart School to inspire and empower youth to lead, love, and protect our ocean.
Hi, everyone. So good to be here today. I'm going to start a quick little trivia for you all. So Enzo and Ryan, thanks so much for the great introduction. I am Dr. E, and I started working as a marine biologist when I finished high school. Technical difficulties. Okay. So I've been studying sea lions since I was 20, and since then I've traveled all around the world studying threatened marine animals. Being a marine biologist is one of the coolest jobs in the world. And when I finished my PhD, I decided to share my love and passion for protecting our oceans with kids. I started a charity called Sea Smart, and our mission is to inspire and empower kids to love and protect our oceans through really fun education programs like online courses, school workshops, and summer camps at the beach. I know there's a lot of ocean lovers in the audience today, but I want to know how many of you are actually ocean experts. So I'm going to ask you some different questions. There's going to be multiple choice answers, and the key thing is you need to answer as fast as you can. After I ask the question, you'll see a window pop up on your screen, and just answer in the poll as fast as you can. We're only going to give you a few seconds. Are you ready to start? We're going to start off easy. What percentage of our planet is covered by oceans? Is it 5, 20, 50, or 70%? Tracy, can you cue the poll, please? So what do you think? This picture should be a good hint how much of the ocean, how much of our planet is covered by oceans. So remember to answer your real quick. And all right, Tracy, what do we think the answers are? Woo! 95% you got it right. And you are all 95% you're right. Over 70% of our planet is covered by oceans. So instead of planet Earth, maybe we should call it Blue Planet, as Dr. Sylvia Earle does. Which produces more oxygen, marine plants or rainforests? We know that the Amazon is considered the lungs of planet Earth, but is that really true? What do you think? Tracy, so everyone, answer real as fast as you can. Do you think marine plants produce more oxygen or rainforests? All right, Tracy, what did our audience guess? Good job, everyone. That's amazing. So most of you got it right. Marine plants actually produce about 70% of the oxygen that we breathe. And most of this oxygen is produced by these microscopic plants called phytoplankton. Next question. True or false? The equivalent of a garbage truck full of plastic gets dumped into the ocean every minute. True or false? Is everyone ready? All right, Tracy, what did our audience guess? True, you all got it right. So that means you all know the staggering amount of plastic garbage that's entering our oceans every single year. So much plastic is getting dumped in that about 8 billion kilograms of plastic garbage enters our oceans every year. So that's the same in weight as about 1 million elephants, over 4 million SUVs. And that should not be happening. Plastic pollution is a huge problem for the oceans because first off, animals can get tangled in it. But plastic is also a sponge for toxic chemicals and is absorbing all the toxic chemicals in the ocean around it. Animals also eat this plastic, which means that all this plastic, as well as all these toxic chemicals, is starting to get accumulated throughout the entire marine food web. Virtually every single type of marine organism, from microscopic plankton to the largest of whales, have been known to eat plastic. And for those of us who eat seafood, this plastic ends up back in us. So what can we do to reduce our plastic use at home? Who remembers there's 3 R's? Do a hands up. What if I told you there should actually be 4 R's? And the first R is refuse. So take a second to think about why refuse should be the most important R. That's because if we refuse to use all the single-use plastics, then there's actually less plastic that we need to worry about recycling and reducing and reusing. So it's really important to buy less. And I know for most of you, it's probably your parents who are doing most of the shopping. But ask your parents to try minimizing the packaging as much as possible when they go shopping for groceries or things to clean the house. Did you know that you can actually get shampoo and soap bars that are completely unpackaged instead of using liquid soap or shampoo? For those of you, zero waste living is really popular right now in Canada, where I live. And that basically means trying to use as much reusable things as possible and producing as little waste as possible. So really easy way of doing that is having a litterless lunch. So every time you have lunch, using reusable containers and bags instead of disposable Ziploc bags or saran wrap. So other ways we can protect our oceans are, we already talked about reducing single-use plastics at home, but what about getting your whole school on board? Can you imagine if you got your entire school to do litterless lunch for one day or even a week? That means you're affecting hundreds of kids using less plastic. We heard that Ryan and Enzo met doing a shoreline cleanup when they were only 6 and had a huge impact on their lives. So that's always a great way of rounding up your friends and your family to go help our oceans. Becoming a citizen scientist and helping spark love for our oceans. Inspector Planet's going to talk more about that. And if you do decide to eat seafood, try to choose sustainable seafood. This means seafood that's caught in a way that isn't harmful for the oceans, but also usually the animals that are being caught, there's pretty healthy numbers of them. You can also reduce your carbon footprint by walking or biking more, driving less, eating less meat. In general, let's just buy less. And what I'd love all of you to do, one of the simplest things you can do is teach others. Share your love and passion for our oceans and spread what you're learning today in the Youth Summit. So last question, I want to know, what actions will you take to protect our oceans? Tracy? Are you going to reduce your plastic waste, participate in the shoreline cleanup, become a citizen scientist, teach others how we can protect the oceans? Remember, you can choose just more than one action, but I want to know what's the first action you're going to take. Tracy, what's our audience going to do? That's great. I love that everyone chose every single different option. And remember, you can do more of these. And these are just ideas. Why don't you take some time to brainstorm yourself? What are things you can do to protect our oceans? I know you're all ocean lovers here. If you want to learn more about our oceans, you can sign up for C-Smart's Ocean Defender online class. And all you have to do is check out csmartschool.com. Thanks so much. Giving it back over to Enzo and Ryan.
Thank you so much to Dr. E from C-Smart School. We have some cool things that can help you have a greater impact too. Everyone watching from home has been entered into a raffle to win some of this eco-friendly swag from the Fish's Wishes and Ocean Needs Everyone.
Get ready, because we are going to announce the winners. But first, we're going to find out all the amazing things we can all do to save the world. Reintroducing Dr. Tracy Fanera, aka the world famous superhero, Inspector Planet.
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, and we are on. Hi everyone. My name is Dr. Tracy Fanera, and I am a scientist and environmental engineer, which means that I use different scientific disciplines to protect the public, protect wildlife, and to protect our health. So I currently work with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's called NOAA for short. And a lot of those pictures that you saw earlier of phytoplankton in the ocean and marine animals came from that organization. Before that, I was with Mote Marine Laboratory, which is a wonderful place, really focused on getting people involved with science and inspiring a love for our oceans. So having you guys actually take part in scientific research is a win-win situation. So us scientists, we always need more data to answer the big questions that we haven't been able to answer yet. And you guys can help us do this by actually participating in citizen science activities. There's an organization called Earth Echo that you can get involved with there, and there's so many apps right on your own phone that you can start recording. One of them that's really popular is called iNaturalist, but Mote Marine Laboratory has something called the Beach Conditions Reporting System and CSIC, which is the Citizen Science Information Collaboration, just CSIC. And right now, today, you can go outside and report what you're seeing around to help scientists make better decisions to protect the public. So, who's going to get involved? If you have any questions about this, you can contact me at inspectorplanet.com, or we can give you my email to reach me with any questions you might have on how to get involved in protecting our oceans.
Thank you so much, Inspector Planet. That was so cool. I love knowing that I can be a hero for our oceans too.
Are you guys ready to find out today's big raffle winner? Even if you don't win today, you can still win a cash prize by entering Blue Green Connections Hope for the Future Challenge. You can find out more about this at bluegreenconnections.org. Don't wait, because the next round of winners will be selected after October 31st. A huge congrats to the latest winners, Milana Pavlinic and Mackenzie Rilling. Now back to today's raffle winner. And the winner of 2 sun catchers, ocean socks, a sea turtle beach towel, and 2 metal straws, plus their cases, is Elizabeth Blake. Congratulations.
Awesome. Hey guys, thank you so much. I just want to jump in, congratulate the winners, and let you guys know that we have Her Deepness, Dr. Sylvia, joining us. Sylvia, please go ahead and start your video and unmute your microphone. I know all of the kids on this summit are so excited to see you. Oh, and we have beautiful coral in the background. Sylvia, over to you.
I'm really excited to be part of the action, Shannon the Shark. As you probably know, I was a kid. When I was a kid, I spent so much time right there in Dunedin, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. That's where the ocean really got my attention and has held it ever since. Great pleasure to see what's going on and to hear the enthusiasm about all of you champions for the ocean. So, Ryan and Enzo, what's next?
Hey, Sylvia. So I think all the kids on the panel would love to hear you talk about the Florida Gulf Coast Hope Spot and your experiences growing up there as a kid, and give them a little bit more background information.
Well, let's have a conversation, Shannon the Shark.
Okay, let's do it.
Because, sharks all over the world are in trouble. Oh, you're an exception. You're in pretty good shape, I'd say. Yay. But they're a symbol of what has happened. When I was a kid, there on the beaches of Clearwater and Dunedin, there were just so many sharks in the ocean. And at the time, people thought that the only good shark was probably a dead shark. Now we know that the good sharks are live sharks. They're really helping to keep the ocean healthy, along with all of the rest of life in the sea. Things have changed quite a lot since I was a kid. They called Clearwater Clearwater for a good reason. The water used to be really clear, and it can be clear again if we restore the mangroves, restore the seagrass meadows that are so full of life. And we know that it works because we've seen that where people do what you're doing, take care of the ocean, clean up the trash that we've managed to allow to escape into the ocean, and to give nature a break, to give the fish a break, to really think about the world from their standpoint. Ocean life is wildlife, and we've come a long way in terms of protecting birds from the time when my parents were kids, when wild birds used to be fair game, and some still are. People still do go out and take wild birds, ducks and geese occasionally to take them home for dinner, but what we take from the ocean is we've gone too far. We've taken too much too fast. We've got to give back. I love it that the Florida Gulf Coast is a hope spot, and I love what you're doing to give back, to really learn about what's there, to take the photographs, to capture the images and share them, share your love of the ocean. Right now, I'm stuck on the west coast of this country. I'm in California, but my heart, big piece of it, is right there where you are. And I'll get back to Florida soon, and soon as I can, and love to meet up with you and go do a beach cleanup and go really explore, to see and share with you what I saw as a child and what's still there. That's the good news. I fell in love with horseshoe crabs when I was a child, and if you do not know what a horseshoe crab is, I know Enzo knows. I know Ryan knows what horseshoe crabs are. Check them out. These are creatures that were around in the ocean before dinosaurs existed, and certainly long before anything like a fish or a human being arrived on the planet. We should look at them and realize how lucky we are that they're still with us there in the Gulf of Mexico. Learning about them causes us to learn about the history of life on Earth and about where we fit in. What do you think, Shannon? Sharks have been around for a long time too, and they're still here. At least 400 million years sharks have been swimming in the ocean, but about 90% of them are gone. I'm so glad you're still around.
Thank you, Sylvia. I am too. I'm happy to be here. Not only, for all of my friends and relatives, as a representative for sharks all over the globe, who have gotten a bad rap. Everybody remembers the movie Jaws, and that put some really bad stereotypes out there. And we're really nice, friendly creatures. No different than a lion is. Everybody looks at the lion and thinks, wow, what a majestic animal, king of the jungle, right? As they call it. So sharks are the same, but for the ocean. And they're an apex predator, and they play a critical role in the ecology and in the environment. And so, everybody's afraid of shark bites, but they are rare. Obviously it's a risk that you take when you get into the ocean. We're getting into their home, their habitat. But I'm more concerned about hopping in the car and driving to the supermarket than I am about, potentially getting hurt by a shark. We're not on their menu. And we know that because they when they bite us and they mistake us for something else, they let us go. So, accidents definitely do happen, but they don't happen very often, although it seems to make the news every time something does happen, which, further gives us, perpetuates our reputation. And I'm here to just say that we're just as an important part of the food chain and of the environment as anything else. And hopefully you get to know and love sharks, all different kinds of sharks. Shannon the Shark, whale sharks, blue sharks, nurse sharks.
Great white sharks.
Yeah, big great white sharks that Sylvia and I live off the coast where Sylvia and I live near. And so we're super excited to be here. And if you don't mind, Sylvia, I'd like to open it up to some questions for you from some of the kids that are on.
I'd love that.
And I would like to ask a question from Anhana. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. She wanted to know what made you choose that certain place for a hope spot.
Well, people around the world actually nominate places as places they love and care about, and realize that, if protected, can join this network of hope to restore health to the ocean, which is important for the fish, for the sharks, but it's important for us too. If the ocean is not healthy, we're not healthy. And people have nominated places all over the world, and Tracy Tippin and some of her allies have nominated the Gulf Coast of Florida as a hope spot. And I'm so pleased because I have a personal affinity for the Gulf Coast of Florida. It's where, as you know, I was a kid. And it does need some tender, loving care to restore some of what's lost. But the great thing is that there's still a lot of resilience in the Gulf Coast. There's still seagrass meadows that can serve as a source of restoration for what has been lost. Now we know what could not be known when I was a kid. And that's true all over the world. People are learning why the ocean matters to everyone everywhere, and that everyone can do something to turn things around. So 131 hope spots now exist everywhere, in every ocean, all over the world. And the fact that the Gulf Coast of Florida is a part of this network really is a special source of pleasure for me. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sylvia. And thank you so much for your question on Hannah. And now we have one from Elizabeth. And she wants to know, has anyone made a movie to reverse the fear effect that sharks carry to most people who aren't familiar with them? And I'll just answer real quickly that Shannon the Shark and others all around the globe are trying to do their part in destigmatizing sharks, and getting out the facts, getting out the science, because I think we can sensationalize things in the media, and we can, if you see something on the news once a week or once a month, it seems like it's happening a lot, when in actuality, based on total population, it's really not, as far as shark attacks are concerned. And so, to be honest, sharks have a lot more to be afraid of humans than humans do of them. So, Sylvia, I'll kick it over to you about a possible movie to help sharks.
Well, look up shark water for one example. Go online and see if you can track that down. But Peter Benchley is responsible for writing Jaws. The film and the book were both tracked back to this great story, but it was a story. It was not a true story. It was fiction. And Peter Benchley himself, and Wendy Benchley, his wife and his kids as well, they all were horrified at the way people reacted and took their fear out against sharks. So Peter Benchley himself, for the rest of his life, really worked very hard to transform the way people look at sharks. It's just wrong to demonize sharks. They're innocent of anything we do. They don't care who we are, what we are. We're just a curiosity to them. And sometimes out of curiosity, they take a little bite out of some of us, but very few compared to the number of bites we take out of sharks. When you think about the hundreds of millions of sharks who have been taken and eaten by people, it's ridiculous that we should even be concerned at all. They should be really, as Shannon the Shark says, that they should really be worried about us. Well, I worry about them not only because of the number of sharks that we deliberately kill, but because of what we're doing to their home, which is also our home. The ocean keeps us alive. It keeps the sharks alive. Now we have to keep the ocean alive. We're the ones now, the agents of change, through what we're putting into the ocean, through what we're taking out of the ocean, through what we're doing to change the climate. There's so many good things that we can do to make a difference. And the key is knowing. And now we know that don't believe those who say that sharks are out to get us. They're not. If we put ourselves in harm's way, well, it's kind of our fault. When we go out, and as some people have, and spear fish, that's like ringing the dinner bell for the sharks. It attracts the sharks. And we might be a part of their dinner as a result. But it's not their fault. It really is not. So I am encouraged because of all of the books, and there are films that are out there. If you really search the the web, look for shark stories. Most of them tell the good stories about sharks, and more are coming. Just check them out and share the view.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Sylvia. And also, if you haven't, check out Mission Blue. It's on Netflix. You can stream it, and it talks briefly about whale sharks and the threat to them in the Gulf oil spill. And so that's a great one to watch too. It's clearly one of my favorites, but there's some good ones out there. So take a look. We got probably time for a few more here. We have Sierra. She wants to know, how can we start replanting seagrass groves?
Great question. You know, there are places like along the coast of Texas and parts of Chesapeake Bay where people are restoring seagrasses. I don't have a straight answer, but I can find out if there is currently an effort in your area where there are people who are taking the initiative to restore seagrass beds. And if there isn't, maybe you can be the champion who starts something of this sort. Work with the scientists at St. Petersburg College or the University at Tampa, or the Mote Marine Laboratory. A good place to start asking those questions, because they can direct you and maybe work with you to start something if it hasn't already been engaged. Certainly, looking at what we're putting into the ocean upstream is part of the solution, and also looking at the ways that we have taken bites out of Tampa Bay. About a third of Tampa Bay has been filled to make places for houses and shopping centers and parking lots and things, instead of where seagrasses once thrived. So, you know, you can ask that question and start doing your homework. Look at what's happened in the past and how we might give back to places that have been lost.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sylvia. Amazing answers as always, inspiring as always, no matter how many times Shannon the Shark can hear you speak. And let's do a couple more. And this is kind of a double. One is from Jack, and he wants to know, how have we been able to measure the recovery of the Gulf since the deep water spill? And there's another kind of follow-up question that I think is important, which is from Anhana again. What do you think will happen if another large oil spill occurs?
Well, spills certainly have been part of the history of the ocean generally, Gulf of Mexico specifically. Since I was a child, there were literally no oil rigs or drilling at all in the Gulf of Mexico when I was a kid in Dunedin. And what has happened is that scientists have been monitoring, measuring, exploring the Gulf of Mexico over the decades, before, during, and now after, particularly now after the Deepwater Horizon spill. NOAA is monitoring. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, the Heart Research Institution, has been really deeply involved with trying to find out how much do we know, how much have we known in the past about the Gulf of Mexico. There was a little volume that was published in the 1950s about the state of the Gulf of Mexico, where scientists all around the country, and especially around the Gulf, got together and published what they knew about the Gulf of Mexico. And then about 10 years ago, scientists all over the world, especially around the Gulf of Mexico, did a new assessment. And sort of coincident with the Census of Marine Life, a 10-year study about life in the ocean all over the world, but coordinated at the Heart Research Institute and other Gulf institutions, marine science laboratories. Scientists got together, and instead of just one little volume, we're talking about many volumes. One this thick just on the life in the Gulf of Mexico, more than 15,000 species are now identified as making their home in the Gulf of Mexico. And some live only there, species that are unique to the Gulf of Mexico. We've got this database so we can measure change over time. And certainly there's been a lot of change, a lot of loss, but also in places that have protection, like the Flower Garden Banks in the northern Gulf of Mexico, a place where coral reefs are thriving on a little, what they call a seamount that comes close enough to the surface, 100 miles offshore in deep water. This mountain comes up and is crowned with coral at the top, and it has been protected as part of the National Marine Sanctuary System. And the corals there have maintained pretty good health as compared to some of those that have been affected by coastal pollution and other factors. So we do have the mechanisms for measuring change, and it is a part of an ongoing study, an oil spill response, if you will. We need to know what we can do. One of the tools in the box is having protected areas. It's why this Gulf Coast Hope Spot, it's not protected in the way that, let's say, a national park is protected, but that's the goal, to identify those special areas where there's still healthy seagrass meadows, where mangroves are still in great shape, and seek really true official protection, safeguard these special places as a source of restoration. It's something you can do, something all of you champions for the Gulf Coast Hope Spot can do, to encourage local and state and national support, to officially sanction the idea that this place will be safe for the fish, safe for the sharks, safe for the scallops, safe for the seagrasses, to really say we respect the importance of this as a fully protected area. We're on our way. And having the evidence of the sort that you're asking about, how do we know what healthy is? We can look to the records from the past and say, this is what we should be aiming for. And here's how we get from where we are to a better place. To be prepared for the next catastrophe. There will be other spills. It's a cost of doing business. That's how it's framed. It doesn't have to be this way. Now that we know what is causing the problems, we can do a better job of safeguarding the shipping, safeguarding the pipelines that are now laced under the sea in the Gulf of Mexico for the transport of oil and gas. Need to do a better job of understanding where the problems are so that we can be ready with solutions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sylvia. And thank you for all of your questions. Those are amazing questions. I know our future is bright with such intelligent young minds at work, and we're looking forward to seeing you grow and turn 18 and be able to vote. But you are doing amazing stuff now, so please keep it up. Kids can make a difference and do make a difference, and don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. And now I'd like to kick it back over to Dr. Tracy Fanara, aka Inspector Planet, to talk to us a little bit more. Dr. Tracy.
Hey everyone. I don't know if you can see me though. There we are. Hi everyone. Wasn't that amazing? Dr. Sylvia Earle has been a huge role model of mine. I was first inspired to start protecting the environment when I was in 4th grade. I learned about a hazardous waste dump site where industries were dumping toxins into waterways that were leaching into the soil and the groundwater, and people were getting really sick. And I realized how everything in this world is connected. What we put into the environment eventually comes back to impact our health. So I learned about this field of study where I can provide clean water to people and clean air and protect people from natural disasters and design and build things. And I was like, I want to be a silent superhero. Sign me up. So I became an environmental engineer. And then I learned about Dr. Sylvia Earle and her mission and her journey. And so I started at Mote Marine Laboratory um, doing research, marine research, which was outside of what I normally did. And I realized how important it was to protect those waters that cover 70% of the earth. You know, we're not making any new water. So the same water that is here today will be here in 1,000 years and was here 1,000 years before. So it's our job to protect those waters, whether it's in the ocean, fresh water, because it's all the same water. So now I'm at NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and I think that Sylvia Earle was there or affiliated with for a little while. And honestly, I made that decision because of people like her and the impact that she's made throughout her career. So now it's our turn to inspire you guys. And one, hi, Paige.
Hi, Dr. Tracy Panera. That was incredible. Thank you so much for all of those wise words. And thank you so much to Shannon the Shark and Sylvia and Dr. E and Ryan and Enzo, the two coolest kids I have ever met. You know what? I would say the only one happier than me about all of this incredible work to protect nature are the animals that live there. Remember, nature is their home. And I did find, oh, hey, I have Sophia, the diamondback terrapin, a kind of turtle that lives right here on Florida's beaches. She is swimming for joy that all of you want to protect her home and all of the animals that you see. I know Sylvia mentioned horseshoe crabs, whoa, or the snails. They might not be as big as this one, but there are some cool snails on beaches too. All of the animals that you see outside depend on us to make sure that their home is safe for them. Remember, starting in just a few minutes at 4 o'clock, we have a panel discussion with all of the scientists that are trying to protect this hope spot. So keep on protecting the planet, planet protectors. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.